ladies and gentlemen. This is a sort of an imaginative session that we have had because the CSC program started about 8 years back and it has started evolving. Let me go into a little bit of history as to how the CSC program started. We had one of these very successful projects called NCA 21, which perhaps most of you would know. And when we were doing this project, we did massive reforms of the processes. So we suddenly realized that there is going to be a huge gap, even though the key stakeholder was the industry, and industry was very digital savvy. This was in the year 2002, 2004. And then we said we will have what is called as the physical front offices. So we had this PFOs that were coming in. Essentially, these were the sort of kiosks or assisted centers that you had in about 52 locations nationwide, who would take in requests for corporate filings and providing assistance to the corporate sector. And then, Mr. Satyanarayana did a master stroke there. He pulled out this PFO concept, and at that time he was working in NISG as the head of NISG, and he created Bangalore One out of that. Okay, Bangalore One served as an iconic piece, and this came in much before NCA 21. But the concept was essentially the same, and it was very, very important for us to have that because we were still trying to find, ascertain whether such a model is going to be working or not. So he pulled out, we had a successful Bangalore One, but Bangalore One was just the front end. The next stage of evolution was his second baby, which is eSeva, okay, which is a very household name in the CSC sector in India. eSeva had one more step of advancement, which is integrating the back end into the system. So which means you had a front end and you had a back end integrated together working as one piece. That became a model for the present day CSCs. This session is of particular interest to us because we had the, if I can take the liberty of saying, the first mover disadvantage. Haryana was the first state to have 100% coverage of CSCs, 1,159 in all, and it was the first state to fail. Okay, so we are at a point where we are relaunching this because CSC is a mega program. And what we have done right now in terms of notification of the CSC scheme is we have recognized the meganess of this project. The investments so far in CSCs have been more than $1.2 billion. That's a very, very conservative estimate. Perhaps I'm, quoting a little less, but that is the type of investments that have gone in to form the CSC. Okay. We are now at an inflection point where we have to see, is the model that we have taken for the CSC, is it going to be sustainable? What are the problems today and how do we go into the future? So it's quite a bit of, it's an imaginative type of a discussion that we need to have. And I would kindly request all the panelists to sort of think out of the box and and come up, even if the ideas are wide. And if I were given the liberty of naming this particular session, even though I had to name this, I would have said managing government with Facebook. Okay, why not we use Facebook to manage services of the government? So with that, I would like to set the tone for this discussion. There are three paradigms that we will be looking at while going into the future. The first one is the technology paradigm. If you look at the penetration of mobile technology in the last 10 years, mobile technology has revolutionized the way technology is being utilized. There are newer and newer technologies that are coming in. Today, big data is one such technology which is coming in. The second paradigm is the service delivery paradigm. And when we are delivering services, the critical underlying factor is the data, the comprehensiveness of data and the accuracy of data. Okay. So this is the second paradigm that is evolving, and the integration between the data. I mean, all these have been discussed at length all through the day, so I will not go into the details of this. And the third and the most important paradigm is the good governance paradigm. We are talking of C to G. that is citizen to government, which means you're reversing the flow of services or flow of interactions that is coming to the CSCs. Okay. With this background, I invite Ms. Chowdhury, our erstwhile Chief Secretary, and who has been instrumental in getting our current CSC scheme, the visionary scheme, approved for the state. He's played a critical role, and I've always enjoyed working with him and attending all his meetings. And all of his meetings were very, thought-provoking and enthusiastic to me. And I would kindly invite you to come over and share your thoughts in terms of going forward. What is it that we should be expecting? How would the CSCs, how are it going to be evolved? And how can we get over the current problems of the CSCs?